Hi all, so last night I was woken up again at about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Bang, bang, bang. That's 3 shots. That means somebody has passed away in the village. A bit of a reminder for today's road trip that I'm heading out on just now, that life is short, so make the most of it while you can. And now I'm going to hit the open road, blast a few tunes, and enjoy myself on this road trip to Khon Kaen. I've said it before on the vlog, but many people think that road tripping through Thailand is open green fields, beautiful lush forests or something you're driving through. It's a concrete jungle, guys. Majority of the stops involve petrol stations, although most petrol stations do have a somewhat natural looking Amazon. วันนี้ครับเอาชาไทย premium นะครับ1 แก้วนะใช่ครับ So while I wait for that tea, I've been thinking a lot recently of the UK. Now I've nearly lived in Thailand for a longer time in my life than I have the UK. I'm passing that threshold soon of where I would have spent more time in this country than I have in the UK, but of course you still watch the news and you hear stuff from friends and family back in the UK, and you hear all the usual problems. It just seems that everybody is completely miserable about the UK, and it also seems that a lot of non-UK subscribers, I often get a comment on the channel that they know they've met British people before and all they ever do is complain about Britain. Now I'm not going to complain about Britain because it seems like there's a lot of that going on YouTube and in the comments and whatnot, but it does seem to me that a lot of people have a problem with immigration there. And as an immigrant myself, although the Thai government do not class me as an immigrant, which is why I use the word expat, the Thai government here class me as a non-immigrant, and some of the reasons for that are going to become clear in this vlog. I wanted to explore with you some facets of that immigration policy that you may consider as useful in the UK and Europe for that matter, or that you might find quite xenophobic, and you may consider at the end of this vlog that I'm treated quite unfairly as an immigrant in Thailand. Personally, I believe that I am treated fairly. I believe that the system is fair. I live under the system. There are a lot of parts of the system that I don't like, but I do understand why they do it this way. But that's going to be for you to decide at the end of this vlog. A good place to start might be to where the visa situation, the immigrant situation has in common with Thailand. If you immigrate to the UK, you still have to get a visa, you still have to go the correct routes. There are still some financial requirements, and that is the case in Thailand. If you are moving over here for whether you're retiring here or in my case, I'm married here, then you're going to require a visa. But that visa does stipulate as well that you're going to have to report every 90 days, and that visa must be renewed every year, and you must show the financial proof in order to renew that visa. And so it can be tricky even if you've been here for many years like I have, unless you've got the permanent residency, which is only open to a certain number of people per year. You do have to continue to renew your visa, and you do have to check in every 90 days. Somewhat it can make you feel like you're being surveilled a little bit, like updating immigration on your address every 90 days. I believe that the process used to be even worse, that if you left and stayed at a hotel or something, you would have to report that move. These days you don't have to do that. However, it is quite strict. You are on a database, and at any moment immigration knows exactly where you are. And so in the UK, if you do overstay your visa, this is a criminal offence and can lead to deportation. However, there is no reporting in the UK. In terms of financial requirements, if you are going to come to Thailand, you have to have a certain amount of money in the bank in order to renew the visa, or have a certain monthly income depending on which visa you're choosing. In the UK, there are financial requirements as well, of course. If you're married to a Thai, you're going to have to prove your amount of income as a spouse. Or you may be getting a job in the UK for a company, and therefore you have to show the amount that you're going to be earning as a salary as a minimum in order to move over in that direction. Now, one key differentiation between the UK and Thailand is that if I break the law here, they will come and grab me straight away. They'll deport me and they'll blacklist me, depending on the particular law, of course, the particular infringement. Visa overstay is a pretty serious thing these days. The UK, however, won't do that kind of instant deportation. It's kind of a long drawn out process, often that you have to go to court, and so things can be much slower in the UK than it is in Thailand, which is where Thailand is probably more efficient in controlling its population. Even at the perceived detriment of immigrants like me, I support the policy because I think that Thailand should have control of who's in its country, and if it doesn't want certain people here for whatever reason, it can instantly get rid of them without any kind of long-winded bureaucracy. There is a very key distinction between Thailand and the UK when it comes to working. I've worked in this country under various different capacities. I've worked for companies that issued me work permits, and I've founded my own companies here that I've issued work permits for myself. My current work permit is one that I issue through my company that covers even this activity that I'm doing here. Otherwise, I may be breaking the law. It's a little bit unclear. If your work permit does not specify key activities such as, YouTube, online advertising, working in my online store, this process can be a little bit complex, and it involves spending money, like in paying tax and doing things the legal and proper route. Sorry, I'm just going to have a tea break here because I started gabbing on before the tea was ready. Lovely, creamy. And so the reason that you can't just pop up here in Thailand and start driving a tuk-tuk and work here is because the jobs are reserved for Thai people. They don't want an influx of foreigners coming in and taking the Thai jobs. This is a little bit different to the UK because many will say the UK's economy relies on immigrants to come in and do certain jobs, maybe because of wealth disparity. It's a different country. You cannot compare like for like all the time. There is not always a direct comparison. But I kind of like the idea, even though it goes against me as an immigrant, to protect Thai business and Thai work for Thai people. So it means that they as citizens get priority over those jobs over me, and other people cannot come in as well and do entrepreneurial things without going through the proper routes and paperwork and having a Thai shareholdership of over 51% Thai owned business. This is something I've had to live by. I was a teacher for a while, and that was a little bit different. It's easy to get a work permit as a teacher if you have a degree and you have all the necessary qualifications. This is easy, and they kind of want you to do that because they want the Westerners teaching the kids English, but they don't want me to come here and drive a tuk-tuk. Actually, one of the common comments that I receive on this channel over the years and my other channel, the family channel, is from Thai people, is that we want you to come, but we don't want you to stay. So please come and enjoy Thailand, but we don't want you to stay long term here. Depending on the video that appeared on, like if it was a family video with my kids, and I was living here obviously with kids, working legally, paying a lot of tax here, a comment like that would get to me. But I also understand from the Thai point of view, they see more and more Westerners kind of coming in, and the Thais are as concerned about it as I guess the British are. The Thai people want to preserve their culture, and they're also protecting business. So having a business to be 51% Thai owned, even though I created my business, I created the concept, I don't actually own the whole amount of the business. My wife does. It doesn't bother me, but it would bother some entrepreneurs that came over and they didn't have Thai family and they had to work with Thai shareholders that they didn't know and maybe couldn't trust. And so there is that element of Thai business ownership where they're trying to keep Thailand for Thai people, and I completely understand that. Now, there is another important consideration on this as well, and that is about the deportation. So in Thailand, the deportation can be for 5 to 10 years, which means that if I was caught working illegally, and I would be immediately arrested, detained, and deported. It doesn't matter that I have 2 sons here and my wife. I would instantly have to leave, and for 5 to 10 years I would be separated from my children, or at least I could not come and see them here in Thailand. Thailand treat this as a legal matter, whereas in the UK the Home Office has to consider Article 8 of the Human Rights Act, the right to family life, which means they're going to take into consideration, for example, if I was Thai and my wife was from the UK and we had 2 UK kids, the chance of deportation would be very rare for that to get through the court system because of the right to family life and the fact that I already have children in the UK. I would say that the immigration policy in this respect is much harsher in Thailand than it is in the UK. And it could be argued that if you do have children, you should have a right to support those children in any way that is open and possible to you. To be honest, in my situation, I've always had good work, decent income, and having my own businesses. I'm in a better financial situation, I guess, than a lot of people. But I don't agree that if you're broke, you shouldn't have a right to work and provide for your children. Everybody should have the right to feed their children, you know what I mean? And I'm of the mind that maybe there should be consideration afforded to those people that maybe are not wealthy and they don't have their own business, but they do have children and they want to take care of those children, and so they want to work in order to take care of those children. Some will have to mitigate that, of course, by leaving the country, working elsewhere, sending money back, but also I don't believe that's psychologically good for the children. So there is this consideration with the difference as well. I should also mention that in the UK, if you are deported, that deportation time for coming back is not 5 to 10 years. It can actually be more along the lines of 1 to 5 years. So it's a little bit more convenient in that respect also. Even working online in Thailand, doing some kind of freelance thing, starting a little business without a company structure is classed as illegal work, and you could face deportation from it. Of course, in the UK, you can be a photographer, you could build websites. If you want to change your job, you can do freely as an immigrant. You can move from one job to another. It doesn't really matter. There's not much bureaucracy around it. Whereas in Thailand, every time you change a job, one work permit will be cancelled, and then you have a limited number of days to leave the country, and then you have to issue a whole new work permit from a whole new company if you change the job and meet all of those requirements again. So it is difficult also to move jobs and change jobs from one job to another. In conclusion, working in the UK is a lot more flexible. It's easier to do than it is in Thailand, and there are many benefits of that if you're an immigrant to the UK. If you're in Thailand, it's far more rigid, and there are many benefits of that if you are a Thai citizen and you want to protect the culture and the country from unwanted influx of people from around the world working in your economy. There's a whole other side of immigration that happens in Thailand from the Burmese and the Cambodians, and bringing in workers to build roads, construction workers and things like that. And the restrictions on those people can sometimes be a lot less in the short term in order to get them in to come and work, but then often for the long-term stay, it can be very difficult for these migrants to achieve long-term status in the country. I'm just on the precipice now of getting permanent residency. It takes a long time, and it's going to be a bit of an application process, but I can tell you that it's not cheap either. So the application alone is 7,500 baht, and if you are accepted, you're going to be paying nearly 200,000 baht straight away. A lot of migrants can't afford that. A lot of people can't afford that, but so it's an expensive process. And this is not much different from the UK application fee, which is around 2,400 to 2,800 pounds, and that is indefinite leave to remain. So there is an application fee there as well, and once you're granted citizenship, you can stay. And again, in the UK, not everybody can afford that. Now, one of the most spoken about differences for immigrants here to Thailand versus the UK is land ownership. Of course, in Thailand, you can own a condominium here as a foreigner, as long as it's only 49% foreign owned in a home building. You cannot, however, own land. It needs to be Thai land. Thais reserve the right to own land for Thais only. I believe there are a couple of exclusions, but for the majority of cases, you cannot own land here. They believe that Thai land should belong to Thai people, not people like me. And I'm all for that, to be honest. Like, I came to this country as a guest. I still class myself as a guest. I still feel like a guest. The only place I don't feel like a guest is on my home, on our little patch of land there, because I'm with my family, my kids, my wife. I don't care about owning the land. For me, it's for my children. If something happens to me, my children have a place to live. That is a bare minimum that I want to provide for them as a dad. This is why I'm a Bitcoiner, because when you have Bitcoin, you own it. It's in your name, and it can go wherever you go. And I'm all for keeping Thailand Thai. I don't want to bring my Western ideas here. I don't want Thailand to become the UK. I don't want to bring any religious ideas here, and I don't think that Thailand or Thai people should change for anybody that comes here and stays in Thailand. I think people should remain as guests and behave as such. Now, saying this, of course, foreigners can come and lease land here, so you can tie up the ownership of your property with a lease agreement, 30-year lease agreement. This is also known as a superficies agreement. This is very different from the UK because anybody can own land in the UK. It doesn't matter where you're from, you can go and you can buy a piece of the UK. You don't even actually have to be a citizen. And also, as a final point on land, if you do get caught using a nominee company, or you do get caught breaking the rules in any way, that land can be confiscated. And so it can be taken, and it can lead to fines as well, which is something very different from the UK. The benefit system, and so in Thailand there is no benefit system that foreigners have any particular access to unless you have a work permit and pay social security and whatnot. In the UK there is more of a benefit system. If you're a citizen as well and you've got more permanent status there, you can get access to the system, the benefit system, and it serves as some form of protection. Here in Thailand, you're not going to get that. If you fail in Thailand as a foreigner here, you've failed. And to be honest, that's been a massive motivating factor to me over the years to start my own business and make sure we're financially secure, because I know that there is no safety net at all. Here also, you'll have to fund your own healthcare. So if I do get sick or seriously ill, I use my private insurance, or as I pay my social security here, I can use the Thai government system as well. But that is ultimately my responsibility. As an immigrant here, I'm expected to mitigate for that, and they're not going to give me any concessions. Whereas the Thais do have a Thai system that they can go to. It's the 30 baht system. They can go and get access to healthcare, and that is one key difference, the benefit system and the healthcare system here in Thailand versus the UK. Now there are some other key comparisons as well that I'm sure my subscribers will add below. There's things like tax and costs of living and things like that. For a Thai person wanting to preserve their culture and identity in Thailand, you would rarely point at them and say you're xenophobic just for that. But for, I guess, for somebody in the UK that wants to preserve their little village or their culture from too much outside influence, they would be labelled as xenophobic. And I think that is the key tension that is happening in the UK now, the inability to empathise with a proportion of the population that want to maintain their cultural and social identity. I also thought it was important to mention the citizen application and acceptance. So the UK in 2024 accepted 270,000 citizens into the UK. Now bear in mind, UK population and Thai population is quite similar. However, 270,000 accepted. In Thailand, it was just a few thousand. And so I think that's also a key distinction. There's a far more expanding population and growing population of the UK than there is in Thailand. And so that also might be putting its pressures on the population and indeed on the system, which Thailand really doesn't have that problem because it's not so much of a welfare state. And so I think it's another important factor to take into consideration, the actual number, the sheer number of people that are, or the sheer lack of people here in Thailand that are actually made citizens and can stay here forever. And so I think overall that's just another reason why many of my subscribers and many expats that watch this channel do prefer the selective system of Thailand. And obviously it is through doing this channel that I even hear about this stuff from subscribers. So it is through my comments and through doing this particular style of YouTube content that I hear a lot of the feedback. And I can tell you, there's a lot of people leaving, guys, the UK. And although a lot of them are quite wealthy and can leave and have left, there's some that are not wealthy enough to leave yet. They haven't made enough money yet. They don't know what they would do job-wise yet. And Thailand doesn't make it easy for them to leave and to work here. And so these points become even more poignant. So I hope I've summarized it quite well. We've gone through visas, we've gone through work restrictions, we've gone through the welfare and the healthcare in the UK, land ownership, path to citizenship, family issues, like if you've got children, and the harsher rules here in Thailand, the acceptance of citizenship. And I think that here you can compare Thailand and the UK quite well because of the population sizes. I think overall we've covered most things. I'd like to know what you think about it. For me, I'd love to be an immigrant to Thailand. I really would. I have nothing against the word immigrant. Sometimes it comes up in my comments. Why do I use the word expat? But for now, I am a non-immigrant. That's what they stamp in my passport. until I get that permanent residency and the citizenship, at which point hopefully I'll be a bona fide immigrant to Thailand. So thanks for joining today, guys. Appreciate it.